Okay, away we go. And this is going to be the ACT practice test 2. Not sure where it came from, if they used it or not. It does have a code and a scoring in the back. So here we go. How many athletes are competing in both high jump and triple jump, but not long jump? So that's going to be high jump and triple jump intersect right here, So high jump is the top circle, bottom circle is triple. How many are competing in both high and triple, but not long? So X out the 1, and the answer is A. I like that question a lot. 2 is F of 3, which would be F of 3 would be 3 squared plus 5 is 14, plus 1 is 15. The answer is J. And I always like to say you go 3 stow X for the computer. X squared plus 5 is the answer, 14. And of course you have to add 1 to it to get 15. 3 is the sum B plus C, which is 40 plus negative 16 is 24, is equal to the product of negative 4 and what number? Well, you could plug it in or solve or whatever, but the answer is B. Second page. It takes 24 minutes to walk to school. What fraction of the whole day? Well, the whole day is 24 hours times 60 minutes in an hour. So the whole day has that many minutes. But I just realized you could cancel the 24s and get the answer G, 1 out of 60, without doing a calculator. Here's a favorite. Interior angles of a triangle have to add up to 180. So there you go. X ends up being 20. And that's the question. What is the value of X? This is distribute the 6. So the answer is J. You give the 6 to every member, 6 times everything is distributed. Okay? What percent of the area is enclosed by OC, OD, and this arc? Well, what it is this is a diameter, so that would be half of the circle would be right here, and then this is halfway between, so it would be half of a half is a fourth, so the fourth of the circle is each of these guys, right? And then this one would be half of the fourth, so it would be 1/8 of the circle. Basically, if you cut it, it would cut into 8 pieces. So we're 1/8 of the circle. 1/8 converted to a percent is a calculator skill. It's 1/8 times 100, of course, and the answer would be 12.5. So, okay, this is what is the height after 3 seconds. So if you're good at algebra, that means to plug in 3. So what do? I just use the old calculator trick, -3 stow X. I could do T, but I'd rather not. And it's -4.9 x squared plus, my brain doesn't work that good, 30x plus 55. So I just do that on the calculator. It's easier for me to get it. It would be negative 79.1. What was that? Did I put something in wrong? Oh, I put negative 3. So show you a trick. I want to put 3 stow x, and then you hit second, enter, and it pops it up again. So that's 100.9. Sorry about that mistake. This one would be trin fact on the calculator. Now the trin fact is going to leave the 2 taken out as the GCF. Okay, and then you have to factor this trinomial, which would be 2x and x. Wrong. It's minus 3 minus 2 for the answer. And then that's what trin fact the program's going to give you. And then you have to decide where the 2 goes in. Oops, my bad. I'm in a hurry this morning doing this. It should be minus. There it is. It's B, because the 2 would be distributed into that. So kind of an unusual way to ask how to factor something and then give an incomplete answer. This is distribute the minus. So 6x minus y plus 2x ends up being j 8x plus 2y. Number 11. This is to the nearest percent. What percent of the customers who responded like hamburgers? So here's your liking hamburgers. 97 of them like turkey as well, and 98 don't. But we just care about the total. So it's 195 over 312 like hamburgers. So what's 195 divided by 312 times 100 as a fraction? It should be 62.5%. Closest to 10 is H rounded. If 7 and negative 3 are solutions, then N has to be the product. And you could test that by plugging these numbers into Quad 2002, if you wish. The program would give you the answer has to be 21, which is the product of the numbers. Similar proportions. Sometimes you put an X by them. Here they're in ratio 4 to 5. The hypotenuse of the smaller is 20, so smaller goes with smaller, larger goes with larger. So 4x would be 100, and x would be 25j. Amplitude is the number in front, so it's 1/2 ball game. That's all you have to do. If you notice, the wave reaches a height of 1/2 on the figure. So the answer is B, 1/2. This is an oldie but a goodie. If the center of the circle is at 3, that's answer opposite. If the circle's center is at negative 4, that's answer opposite. So you put the opposites in here to get the answer, and that could only be G for the answer 25. Now, why is it 25? Distance program. You could put the distance between 3 and negative 4 and 00. It'd give you 5. And of course, it's the distance squared for 25. Okay. 17. The answer is going to be a bunch of radicals. Couple of tricks for that. You could use the SimRad program to do the radical simplification. Now I can do 112. What is 112? 112 divides by 4, I think, and divides by 4 twice, so it would be 4 radical 7. Again, you would already have that if you use the SimRad program. 63 is 3 root 7, and 175 is 25 times 7. Impressed? Don't be. I have been doing this for a long time. Here's the ratio with the colon where the sum is 180. So you add them up. When you see the colon, I always slip an X by it. That would have worked for the other one as well. 10X is 180. Be careful, X is 18, but they want the smallest number. So you plug in that into it. Watch that mistake. I can see whenever you do an equation and you get the answer, there's a tendency to go, whoops, there it is, but it's not. It's what's the smallest of the numbers, and it's 36. The box contains 10 gloves that make up 5 pairs. He picks one glove and puts it on. What is the probability that he hits a match? Well, there's 10 gloves out there, huh? He takes one out, leaving us with 9. And of the 9, only one of them is the matching pair. There's only going to be one that matches it. So it's 1 out of 9. This is LCM. So if I give a program LCM, because you're looking for the LCM of 60 and 24, because that's what customer is going to get the both prices. If 60 and 24 go into both numbers, then you have a winner, and that's going to be every 120 people. So every 1/20th, the LCM of the two numbers wins both. So out of 500 customers, how many times does that happen? It happens 4 times, because 120 goes into 500 4 times. The next one won't happen until the 600th customer. 3 books have a rating of 10. 5 books have a rating of 100, and 2 with a rating of 70. So what is the closest? You need the total rankings. So 3 times 10 is 30, 5 times 100 is 500 points, and 140. So that is added up to get the total, which is 670 is the total. And what is the average or the expected value of the rankings? 670 divided by 10 is 67. They love to ask expected value. Here it's just the average of the 10 books, because you're going to have 10 books with this much value, and then you divide by the 10. So this is funny. It's Fibonacci in a way. It starts with -10, and the second term is 1. Each term after is gotten by adding the 2 terms. So you would get -9. Then you would add these 2, get -8, and then the 5th one, which is the answer, is the addition of those 2 terms. Pretty funny question. Okay. What's next? This would be simultaneous equations. Make sure you have a program for it. Make sure that you line them up right. I'll keep the x there. I'll bring the 4y over. And I'll keep the x on the left, and I'll bring the 6y over. And then I'll move the negative 22 over as a 22. So rearranging them, I then use the program Simult. A lot of people use their calculator PolySimult, but I find Simult easier to get to and work. I don't have the programs on the calculator right now, but the answer is the y value is negative 2, so that's going to be B. Okay, which some values of the function g, so you just have to plug in. If you plug in 0, do you get negative 8? Yes, for f, g, and j. If you plug in 1, do you get negative 6? No, not here. Yes, here for f and j. The answer is going to be j. If you plug in 3, you get 2 times 9 minus 8 is going to be 10. You need to get this answer. If you plug in 3 to the f, who's been working every time, you would get negative 2 times 3 minus 8, and that's not equal to 10. So that's just a plug and chug if there ever was one. 25, okay? What's this say? 1 unit represents 1 mile. So Angelo lives at 4, negative 3. That's Angelo. Ella is at 4, 7. So that's Ella. Troy is at negative 2, 7. And Yoko, all right, John Lennon here, negative 2, negative 3. Which of the following is closest to area of the rectangle? Well, it forms a rectangle because those points are right on top of each other, and you could just count the slide. This is 6. You can count that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this is 10. So which of the following is closest in area in miles? So be careful. The 1 unit is 1 mile, so it would be C. I was thinking they were going to make me convert, but 1 is 1. Classic graph move. If you do f of x minus 4, you could use your calculator to graph it, but all it's going to do is shift the thing down 4. SOHCAHTOA, here we go. We're looking for this height. They usually put a question mark. Here's the angle we know. Where's the opposite? Where's the hypotenuse? Where's the adjacent? So Chief SOHCAHTOA, you could use the Chief program if you forgot it. It's only going to give you the ratio. Its tangent of 40 is x over 18. X is 18 tan 40. The answer is A. Oop, did I skip 30 at the bottom? Yes. 0 through 8 is 6 units. So you gotta go 8 divided by 6, because it's 6 perfect units. So each point is 1.3333 longer, So the square root of 8 would be where? 2.8. If you notice, if you divide that by 1.33, you would get that it would go twice with some left over. So it's going to be 1, 2. Here it is, because that B would be 2.66. So it's between B and C, J. So how I deduce that. Okay. Dion often flies his kite. He can fly a kite on this day, on days. He can only fly his kite on days with wind. He does not fly his kite on every day with wind. So let A be that there's wind, and B be that he flies his kite. P of A and B. What are they doing here? Let's see. So he flies his kite. He only flies his kite on days with the wind. He does not fly his kite on every day. So the probability of A and B is 0.5. That was what the answer says. I do not understand the question. Okay, this is factor cancel. So we go negative 3x. That would give me x squared minus 4. When I take it out, so that would be negative 3x, x plus 2, x minus 2. And on the bottom, you would take out an x. You would get x minus 3, x plus 2. Who cancels? The x plus 2's and the x. So it would be negative 3x plus 6 over x minus 3. Choice J. Still aggravated that I didn't get 31. The roots are 0, 2, so what is a factored form? If you have the roots, the minuses are the factors. We call the roots answer opposite for a reason. So it would be x minus 2, x plus 5. It's got to be the opposites, B. Here's a classic, it's been on forever. Cross multiply. 24x minus 8y equals 5x plus 5y. Get the x's to one side and get the y's to the other. So the ratio x to y is actually the crisscross of those numbers. It's 13 to 19g. The reason being you divide by y and you divide by 19 to get that solved. The slope, which is true. So to find the slope, you have to solve for y. The first one is negative 3/2. Y is mx plus b. And the second one is negative 6 plus 7. So it's negative 6 over 4. Those two numbers are equal. So the slopes are equal A. Okay. F of g of negative 1. So if you plug negative 1 into g, which one is it? It's the top one. So it's the absolute value of negative 1 plus 7, which is 1 plus 7, 8. Then you take that 8 and plug it into F, which is going to be right here, because it's greater than 0. 1 minus 8 is negative 7g. Okay, they have to be equal, so I'm going to set them equal. I'm going to end up doing quad, because it's a quadratic equation. I put this over, I put that over, and I put the 1 over, and is that factor? Let me see. It must, because the answers are all clean. It would be 2 and 3. The quad will get you that answer. The x is 2, and we don't need to find the y, do we? Wait. Oh, we do, because the other one's 3 halves. So both of them could be an answer. Which one is it? We have to plug both of these in and see. Well, if I plug it in here, it's 4 times 2, 8 plus 15. So that ordered pair would be 215, so no good. 1.5 times 4, though, would be 6 plus 3, 13. That works. This one seems to be popular. It's another sort of expected value or an average. Well, 10 tourists visited one city, 2 tourists, 40 did 2, and 50 did 3. So that's a total of 240 cities for 100 people. So the average of the expected value is going to be 100 into 240, which is 2.4H. Okay, we do this in AL2. You could also type it in on your calculator. You get 49 plus 28I twice plus 16I squared, which is negative 16. So you get D 36. So this answer, the product of 2 complex numbers is a rational, is a real number that's irrational. Which of the following cannot be true? Well, you're not going to get an irrational answer from 2 rational products. So F is the not. I, of course, struggled with this because I've missed the cannot be true. All right, this is what logs are for, y'all. You divide by 3 and you get 4, and then you ln both sides, because ln e is 1, and the x gets to come down in front, so it's x equals ln 4, okay, which is choice A. Y'all, you could also use equation solver. You could put both of these in, get the answer, and then match it up to which one it is, okay? So what's this? What is the length of the arc? This is pizza. Now, you have to know a little bit more than that. The hypotenuse is 20. So what is the length of arc AB in centimeters? So really, all you have to do is do the pizza program, type in radius of 10, and it'll give you the circumference, which is all the way around, of 20 pi. And what are we here, y'all? If the whole circumference is 20 pi, this is only 1/4 of it, so the answer is J. Which of the following is an ellipse that intersects the whole, that intersects it? So if this is the no y parabola, so this has to be 3 units, and this is the no x parabola, so this has to be 6 units. So the x has to be 3, and the y has to be 6. So if you know your ellipses, the answer there is going to be F, because the X radius is 3 and the Y radius is 6. Ellipses have different radii. If these numbers were equal, it would be a circle, but an ellipse is tilted. And here we go with inverse function. Inverse function is switch the X and the Y and solve for the Y. So we have to cube both sides, get rid of the root, don't we? And then we have to add 1 and divide by 2. There it is. C is 45. I'm going to put out another video if I ever think of how to do that problem 39. It's still driving me nuts.